Hello, happy Sunday, and welcome to the match build-up show with the LFC Daytrippers. I'm your host, Keith Plunkett, and I'm going to go through the team news for Liverpool versus Wolves and how we think we're going to get on, any surprises in the lineups for both teams, and any predictions. Throw them into the chat there, and we'll see how people are feeling. The teams have just dropped. As expected, Kelleher plays in goal, which is good, which is a nice little surprise, but I suppose he can't rely on one good performance the other night. He needs to build on that now and have another good one today. Nico Williams at right back. We've got Matip and Fabinho at centre back. We've Andy Robbo at left full. We've got Gini, Hendo and Curtis Jones in midfield. And we've got Salah, Mane, Firmino up front. It's a formidable enough team with a couple of positions that I know are maybe weaknesses. But then on the bench, we've got Adrian. We've got Naby Keita, who's come back from injury. We've got Minamino, we've got Yotte, we've got Tsimikas, Nat Phillips, and Trent is also after making the bench. Again, another, not surprise, but one that maybe we're all happy to and glad to see back. So it's a couple of bodies coming back from the treatment table, which is great. Look, the team, Queeveen Kelleher was excellent the other night against Ajax. So I think everyone can agree on that. I think he made some brilliant saves. Today's going to be a tricky enough game for him, in fairness. It's not going to be... I think he'll be put under more pressure is what I'm probably trying to get at on how this is going to be. But I'll go through the Wolves lineup as well there. It's just come in. It's Rui Patricio's in goal. They're going with a back three of Bolly, Cody and then Donker. They've got Marcal and Semedo at wing-back. They've got Moutinho and Neves in the middle. And then a front three of Neto, Podence and Adama Traore. Now, people would shit themselves at that Adama Traore. Some people in the Daytrippers WhatsApp group are big fans, and others think he's an absolute kind of shite that blows out of his arse after every sprint that he does. It'll be interesting. He's caused us many, many problems in the past. If he's playing on the right side, he's up against Robbo. Yeah, he's up against Robbo. I wouldn't be surprised to see him getting runs on the left to go up against Nico Williams. You know, that front three, it's going to be, I think there could be a bit of rotation in there. Podence, Neto and Adama Traore. None of them are traditional centre forwards, and I'd say each of them will want to have a slice of Nico Williams at right full for us. So it's going to be interesting to see how they approach this game. But it's a strong enough team by Wolves. They're missing their key forward in Raul Jimenez. We all know the unfortunate situation that happened with him. He's out. Jacob Zimmerman thinks they're going to park the bus and counter-attack with Traore. I don't agree with that. I think it's just the way they play. Parking the bus, they always play with a back three, don't they? And you know, it'll all be about pinging diagonals. I think in behind their fullbacks will be what they'll try and do. But not necessarily always to Traore. I think Neto is an absolute danger man for them, more so than Traore. If I'm being totally honest, he's the one that scares me the most. But with our own team, I mean, what do you feel about the lineup? Matip and Fabinho, great centre back pairings, as good as we can get at the moment. It's solid. What I was saying, your team lineup on Flick says AB1 starting. Oh, I don't know who put that up. It wasn't me. But anyway, it's Queeveen Kelleher anyway is starting in goal. We've got Matip and Fabinho at the back and Robbo. So you know, Nico Williams is the let's call a spade a spade. Nico Williams is the weak link in that back line, and he will be the one that's targeted. I've no doubt about that. But as people are saying, with Hendo and Gini in there, there should be a lot of cover. There should be plenty of cover for him. He's playing alongside Matip, I'd imagine, on that side of the defence, and probably Henderson in there in front of him. So, you know, if he's not having to do too much, well then, or not that he's not having to do too much, if he's not exposed too much, you know, if they target Nico, and we've got enough cover in there with him, Nico should be fine. He's had good games. He's had more dodgy games, let's be honest, but you know, he's only a kid. He's going to have bad games. Let's just hope he can get through this. And then we have Trent on the bench, you know, so fingers crossed we get Trent back in that team as soon as possible. Scott Mates is surprised that Yotte isn't starting, or Hotte, as some people call him correctly. But He's not starting because, in my opinion, he's just being left on the bench. It's, to go forward against Wolves, I think it would leave a lot of holes in other parts of the team. Some people are saying maybe in ahead of Bobby. Look, possibly in ahead of Bobby. I think he's more of a threat off the bench than Bobby is. Not that he's more of a threat from the bench as a player. I mean, he's the form player, but I think there could be a bit of thinking there that you give him 35 minutes at the end and just tire out Wolves, and then you bring on Jota to pick the holes and find the spaces. That's what I think it could be. But look, we'll find out soon enough. So yeah, with that team, I mean, the midfield three, Gini Wijnaldum, what can you say about this fella at this stage? He's ever present. He doesn't seem to get tired. He's playing without rest. I don't want to put a jinx on him, but he's staying very fit. He's an absolute machine for us. I'd love to know what you're thinking on his on Gini in there, lads, because look, I think we all know we're facing up to a situation where we could lose Gini soon enough, and I think it's going to be a huge loss if it happens. But at the moment, he's just Mr. Reliable in there, and we've said it an awful lot on this channel, and I'm sure it's been mentioned everywhere else. What we need is players who are durable, reliable, and available. And Gini Wijnaldum is the epitome of that at the moment. I just hope that, I'm not chancing fate there, and he has a bleeding hamstring after 20 minutes. But look, Gini has been so good for us, so important, and is not single-handedly getting us through, but he's the ever-present in the team that's dragging us to where we are. Carl Gaskin says he thinks it's the perfect game for Bobby. Hopefully a goal and kick on from that. Look, Carl, I'm a huge Bobby Firmino fan. I'm not going to... I don't like a bad word said against Bobby. I think he's so important to this team, what he does off the ball as well as on the ball. But there's no getting away from the fact that we'll call him Hotte. There's no getting away from the fact that Hotte is the hot hand at the moment. And, maybe it is a surprise. If you were to ask me, I think Bobby and Sadio and Mo are maybe the ones that are off form as well now. We have seen Hotte getting a run for one of them. Who knows? But as I said, I think out of the three of them, if you're bringing on a sub, out of four of them, if you're bringing on a sub to try and impact the game at this moment in time, I think Hotte is the best option for that. Who knows? He might be hungry. He might be angry as well, because he will get on. But he might be angry, and you might see, tired legs and trying to stretch out Wolves, which could be, a good way to go at it. Look, let me know what you're thinking about the teams. Chris Brack, Keita being back now gives us a rotation option. Plus, with Milner and Shaq back for Fulham, we can finally save Gini's legs. It's an excellent point, but while I'm talking about durability and Gini, unfortunately, Naby is the opposite end of that spectrum, as with others, but we just, all I want from Naby Keita is a run of games where he can get through them and he can build a rhythm and he can stay fit. At this stage, that's all we want from Naby Keita. We're not looking for, Naby to come on and score a juice or get a hat-trick or set up 3 or 4 goals. We're not going to get that out of Naby Keita. What we want is, when he plays, he does well. We just want him to stay fit. Just stay fit. That's all we need out of Naby for the rest of this season. But it's, as we say, as Chris touches on there, it's good to get these bodies back, and that's so important for us at the moment. Look, Alisson, get him back. No offense to Queven Kelleher, he done well the other night. We'll see how he does today. But if we can get Alisson back and we get Trent back, that back unit is solid enough. The midfield unit will be solid enough if we get another couple of bodies in there that we can allow for rotation, and the front four are the front four. Plus you throw in a Shaq into that as well, and it's looking a bit better. But the key is, you can't call out Naby Keita for his durability and his injury record without touching on some of the others in there, like Joel Matip. At the moment, it's so important that Matip stays fit, because he's a very calm player. But he's quietly, his leadership is excellent. His play, his distribution is, I'd go as far as to say it's probably the best out of our defenders, and that might be controversial. I think Matip, when he strides into midfield and plays, he can play balls in and he can start a lot of moves. Are very different than Virgil. Virgil does it, and he does the diags and he hits the 60-yarders, which are, excellent. You watch them all day. Gomez is improving it. Fabinho's looks in midfielder. We know what he can do. He's very talented on the ball. But I think Matip's very underrated for his use of the ball and his distribution. So very important, I think, that we keep him. A lot of people panicking about Spurs winning, I seen, and United winning. It doesn't matter, lads. That's all I'll say about this. You don't want to be out of a title race too early. But this season, it's just about being in the chase. It's about being in the mix. You don't want someone running away with it. And I don't think Spurs are running away with it. I don't think United are going to be running away with it. I don't think Chelsea are going to run away with it. I think they will all drop points in silly games that are not expected to drop points in. That's the difference with Liverpool at the moment. We have that mentality that we've got over the line. We've done 2 90-plus seasons. We've done a Champions League, a defeat, a Champions League final, and followed up with a win. We know what it takes to push and get over that line. It's just the lack of bodies and the injuries that are biting us at the moment. So I'm not overly concerned about any of them other teams. The only one I'm concerned about, and Shawnee Lawson has said that, and unfortunately he won't be on the Fatback 4 later, but Shawnee really feels that Man City are the only team, and I'll back him up on this, are the only team in that chasing pack that will put 7, 8, 9 wins together and be able to stretch ahead. Do you know what I mean? Just pull ahead of them. The rest of them will drop points. Mark me words. I'll probably have egg on my face if come February and Spurs are 18 points clear. I can't see it happening. I know Mourinho is a machine with teams and he gets into these rhythms. Kane and Son are on fire. Can't argue with that. But all it takes is an injury. We've seen it ourselves, a couple of bad knocks and your team gets decimated, and then you're calling on your reserves. We haven't now. We've had an awful run of luck now. We can blame VAR. We can do all that. We can say we're getting screwed over by officials. But realistically, it's the bodies that are killing us. It's the lack of the bodies that are killing us, because if we had our full-strength team, in my opinion, for what it's worth, we had a full strength team, we'd pull ahead of this pack. The league is absolute poison this year. It's muck. Man United are in a crisis and they're 2 points off the top of the league. This league is absolute shite and garbage. Liverpool just have to stay in the hunt and get the bodies back. And look, everyone's going to have injuries. You don't want to make excuses, but it is the key injuries that we're getting. Virgil and Gomez gone, we know, killer. Alisson missing games, killer. Trent being out, killer. Hendo being out for games, killer. The spine of our team is getting THIAGO. We're not going to see THIAGO till the new year, killer. So it really is the level of injuries that we're taking, and we're still in the mix. So don't be worrying about the other teams, lads. Even the likes of City, don't worry about the other teams. They all have weaknesses. They all have them. Chris Brack says there, City haven't won 7, 8 games in a row for over a season. They only won more than 3 in a row last season after lockdown, and still haven't done this run yet this season. And that is very true. It's very true. But realistically, Chris, they're the only team we can see doing it. They're the only. Some teams still go there and they're beaten when it starts. They're beaten at kickoff. We just have to, as I keep saying, keep ourselves in that mix. And then who knows? Who knows? The officials, Craig Pawson is the ref. He's terrible. They're all terrible. We know this. We won't expect many favours. Not that you want favours, because Liverpool are getting some decisions that you're scratching your head at. We're getting screwed over on decisions that you're scratching your head at. So it's not that we're looking for any preferential treatment. You just want fair treatment. And when you see some of the decisions that have happened, like the Chilwell one yesterday, when Kevin Friend is the ref and he was the VAR who pulled, the inconsistency is absolutely staggering. So, these are the frustrating things. But look, we'll worry about ourselves. And if we worry about ourselves, that's the most important thing. So look, as I said, Queeveen Kelleher in goal, Nico Williams, Joel Matip, Fabinho, Andy Robertson, the back four, Jordan Henderson, Gini Wijnaldum, and Curtis Jones in the midfield. I like that balance of that midfield. I have to say, I think Curtis Jones has been excellent. He's the breakthrough player of this season for us. He's going to have a lot of minutes under his belt come the end of the season, and it's going to do his development no harm whatsoever. I think it's great to see him in that team. There will come a time when he'll be miles off maybe the team when other bodies are coming back, but he needs to take these chances now, and hopefully he can start with that today. But yeah, Jones is in there, and then Mane, Salah, and Firmino. Let's talk about the forwards for a minute. Bobby is Bobby. He's so divisive. I think more people are on the Bobby out wagon now than they are the Bobby in. And look, you take that, the rough with the smooth. I'm a huge Bobby fan. I've said it before. I've said it on this earlier on. he needs to start scoring. It's no good being pressing and winning the ball back from their deep line midfielders. He needs to get the ball in the net. Carl Gaskin said it earlier. You know, this could be the game. Let's get him scoring. Mane looks tired. He's off form. Mo looks. I'm gonna go out. I think Mo's been terrible. I'll be honest. I'll put my wrist out to be slapped on that one. I think he's been absolutely terrible. I want a good game from him today. I'd love to see the Mo Salah that we're used to seeing having a game today, because I think, you know, people are afraid to call Mo out. He's been absolute muck the last while. And, you know, people think he's angry when he got took off the other day. He was right. It was brutal, right, to take him off. He can't react like that. He just needs to get down and play the game and score. Some of the misses that he has, they're the sort of things that, you know, he goes one-on-one and the way he misses chances are terrible at the moment, you know. So as Amanda is saying there, right, Mo is missing Trent. Well, look, that may be true for getting a bit of delivery, but it's the one-on-one chances, man, that do my head in. He had them against Ajax. He's going through and he's just blazing them 20 yards wide. You know, that's not down to Trent. I think Mo's shooting boots need to get a bleeding polishing, and he just needs to get a bit more focused, I think, on his finishing. Look, that's not a dig at him. It's just an honest criticism, maybe, that he's not as clinical as he has been, that we're used to. And maybe we've been, you know, he set the bar so high. That maybe we're being a bit too critical. Maybe I'm being a bit too critical of him, but it's just my own opinion. I think Salah has been absolute malodgy lately. So please God, he gets that back up and running. In terms of his play, you know, his play is his play. It's his finishing that's doing my head in. It's the finishing. It's blatant brutal. So, you know, a good game from Salah would be welcome tonight. And Mane, let's not forget, Mane hasn't been any better. I'm not giving him an excuse that he's tired, even though I did say that he's been bad as well. It's just, well, right, Genie 20 is saying here he had COVID, which is not easy. You know, he's only himself to blame on that one, Genie. In fairness, it's, you know, I'm not going to judge if he got COVID. Anyone can get COVID, but you know what I mean? When he's going to his brother's wedding and doing rock the boat or whatever, the risk of COVID is always going to be there, I suppose. But I'm not a medical expert, and I think players can do what they want once they're responsible. If he felt that was the right thing to do, that's fair enough, you know. So look, I just think that the COVID excuse doesn't excuse the finishing, and that's what I'm saying about Mo. It's not the all-round play. His all-round play is pretty much the same, but it's the finishing is brutal. Look, we've got a bit of a mad one here. We need Ozil, Mesut Ozil. Is that an Arsenal fan in our chat? Dak Tory, let us know. Are you a Liverpool fan who thinks we need to sign Mesut Ozil? Because I'm all about Mesut Ozil. Like, I can get in behind that. No, wrong channel. Look, we'll take Mesut Ozil off you, and our fans here will be going mad. There's Manda's not having it. No, we won't. Yeah, Mesut Ozil's a great player. Mesut Ozil in this team, they'll be springing balls left, right, and centre for players. He's been treated terribly. We had Lee Gunnar on the show there on Friday night. Hates Mikel Arteta, and I think maybe Arteta's treatment of Ozil hasn't been the best. You know what I mean? But look, that's for them to worry about. They're in dire straits at the moment. Let them worry about that. But look, lads, what can we do? What do you think? How do you think the game goes? A lot of people think it'll be a tight win tonight. Do you think that? Do you think it's going to be a tight win? Do you think it's going to be a tough game? Do you think it'll be a win? Do you think it's a draw? Grizz is going for his traditional 2-2. I don't know whether to believe him or not, or if he's just saying, 2-2 for everything. But are we jumping the gun by assuming that we're going to win this one tonight? Is that what, is it going to be harder than we think, or is it going to be 2,000 fans back in that stadium is going to be huge today? And even though it's only 2,000 fans, 1,500 of them in the Kop, get Jota on and let him score in front of the Kop, because the poor bastard hasn't been able to celebrate a goal yet. Do you know what I mean? He doesn't know what to be doing. So let's get him in there and get him a goal in front of these 2,000 or 1,500 fans that he can celebrate for once, because he's been absolutely brilliant for us. It's his whole team. Let's see if he can come on. I think he's going to come on. I think he's going to score. I think it could be. I always I'm brutal at predicting because I always think Liverpool are going to hammer teams. So I'm going to go for a 3-1 tonight. And I think Jota will score. But what do you think? Like, what's the predictions in there? Throw them in before we finish up. Chris has gone for 3-1 to Liverpool. The third coming very late in the game. Goals from SALAH, Jota and Neto for them. Very good, Chris. I'm thinking along them lines myself. Neto really, I do see as the threat. You know, up against Nico Williams. If he starts over there, he will be the threat. People are saying BBC name Allison in the starting lineup, but he's out till mid-December. Kelleher starts. Yeah, it's Kelleher starting. Hopefully, he has a good game. As an Irishman, some of us have vested interest in this as well. I'm Irish. I want to see him doing well. I love seeing Irish players in the Liverpool team, but only if they deserve to be in the Liverpool team. I'm not a sentimental type, that would gladly have some absolute no-mark Irish player in there. I think Kelleher has a lot of potential, and let's see if he can do it in a tough game against Wolves. Maybe it's, we touched on Raul Jimenez, poor fella, terrible injury that he picked up. In my opinion, I'm not a doctor, in my opinion, I don't think he'll come back from it. I'm just saying that. I think a player of his attributes who's, good in the air, to get a fractured skull like that, I think it's a terrible, devastating injury for that fella. And, my heart really does go out to him. But I think it's just one that maybe changes how they're going to play. It is going to change how they're going to play, but it'll be interesting to see. Hold on, let me just block someone there. Yeah, sorry. It'll be interesting to see how their front line sort of works and see how, are they going to mix it up? Are they going to rotate Adama Traore from left to right and Neto from left to right to just get at Nico? That's the worry. But I think we have enough. I think the Reds will go on. I think they're going to win. I think it'll be a 3-1. And I think we'll march on again into Midtjylland. Billy the Kid will probably get a sniff in that. I see he got taken off at half time in the under 18s, was it? Or the 23s, he got taken off for just the reason that, precaution. Tells me he could be in the match day squad for that. But look, get this game out of the way, and then hopefully we'll march on. We'll see where we are. We're staying in touch with them at the top, and hopefully then at the end of it all, we'll be less panicky. We'll start getting these bodies back, and we'll, see the Liverpool that we're used to seeing, that we're all used to seeing. So look, I'm going to leave it there. It's great. Thanks everyone for joining me. I know these shows that probably not everyone's cup of tea. It's me rabbiting on and waffling, talking shy for most of what I know, but it's just to bring the team news and give you our thoughts on how it's going to go. So like I said, I think we'll get on top of them. I think they will cause us problems, but I have a feeling that our midfield will do a lot of work today that'll keep us sort of on top of Wolves, and then we do well after that, So look, tonight we'll be back. There's no post-game show. We'll be doing the Fatback 4 tonight. It's going to be myself, it's going to be Gav, it's going to be Grizz, and it's going to be Jamie Home joining us tonight. Shawnee can't make it this week, and Jamie is going to jump in. And look, Jamie's a great guest as well, so it'll be a good one. Join in for that, and we'll see what the story is. So listen, I've been your host, Keith. That's been a very brief, well, not very brief, it's 24 minutes in now, our match build up, and we'll talk to you again later.